Hi everybody, and welcome to this tutorial where we are going to sketch an ostrich. And ostriches have a very funny head, so that's why I chose this one. And what I did first is I've drawn in a line for the pupils and a line for the top of the beak. And the head of this ostrich is tilted a little bit to the left. So the right side of the bird is slightly bigger than the left side. And you can see the line of the beak here. On the right side you can see a greater part of the beak, while while the left side is just a tiny bit smaller to see. And that's because this position is in 3/4 position, and that foreshortens the left side of the head, and it prolongs the right side of the head. So I have to pay extra attention to the way the beak is situated here in this sketch. And for material I'm using a simple charcoal pencil, and the paper is just the Army newsprint. It's a sketching paper, but it's very neat for doing first impressions of something that maybe later on you want to paint or make a beautiful pastel drawing out of it. But I always think it's very nice to first do a tryout with the charcoal pencils. Now, as you can see, the nostril here on the right side, you can just look into that, while the nostril on the left side, you can just peek to it just over the bridge of the nose. Now, should you want to see this whole process in real time, you can find that on my Patreon page, because this tutorial is slightly fastened forward a little bit. But on my Patreon page, you can see the whole process in real time, so you can sketch along with me. Now, the eyes of the ostrich are huge. They have very big eyes, and well, it's logical because the ostrich lives in sandy, plain, open spaces. So they have that very long neck and those big eyes, situated in the skull, which is quite square. So they have a square skull. And then the big eyes are situated on the side on the side of that square skull, and they are huge, so they can look really far away to see if there are predators or something. And the feathers on the head look like hairs. And what I do with my charcoal pencil is look for the direction in which the hairs are growing, or the feathers if you want. And then I simply draw that in the direction of the way that the hair is growing. And what I also do is I use my pencil really flat, and I try to look for where is the sun coming from, the light source. And in this case, the light source comes from right above. And as you can see, the hairs on the neck are very short, or the feathers, I should say. Very short feathers. And on the head themselves, they are longer. So I really try to draw that in by making longer strokes with my pencil and shorter strokes. I've also made the neck a little bit turned to the left, so it looks extra playful to watch. Now here on the side of the beak, the feathers are longer, inside the eyes there are a lot of shadows going on. Because of the long eyelashes, there is a lot of shadow inside the eyes. So I really try to capture the right gray value for in that way getting a good idea of where the light is coming from. And if you take extra careful attention to the lights and the darks, then you get a fairly realistic result by putting the gray values on the right places. Now for the right eye, you can just see the pupil inside and then the iris around, but also the right eye has a lot of shadow inside. So I also try to approach the gray values on the correct scale inside the eye. And on the outer corner of the ball of the eye, there is a little light source from the light source which is coming from the right side above. So, well, those are all tiny details that I pay attention to in order to create a fairly realistic result. Even though I'm only using the simple charcoal pencil for for this sketch. It's just a study, but in that way you get the feel of what you want to see. Now what I also use is a eraser pencil. You can see it here. So the white pencil is not a pastel or something. It's an eraser in the shape of a pencil, and you can just sharpen it. You can also use it for the tiny little feathers underneath the beak, for instance. You can see it here at work. So this is my pencil eraser or eraser pencil, and you can use it to highlight some tiny little lines. Now let's go inside the eye again. You can see the dark eyelashes and the shadow which is casted upon the ball of the eye itself. And what you can also see is the lower eyelid. So you really want to take that to attention too. So you can see the lower eyelid, and I think the eyes remind me a little bit of human eyes, or the eyes of cows and horses, which are big too, with the nice eyelashes. So the ostrich is a very nice bird to practice eyes. Now on the side of the neck, and I've tilted the neck a little bit further to the left to make my drawing extra playful. There are also tiny little light flashes on the feathers, and there's a little reflection in the eye. So if you blur up the side of the neck a little bit with a paper tissue, and then you take the pencil eraser, then you can just point out the side of the neck. So, well, little small details, but very nice to draw. A little bit of light on the tiny feathers on the neck here. And then my study is finished. And, well, these are nice birds to draw, so I hope you will give this a try too. Or maybe you want to see the complete process, then you can find me on my Patreon page. So I will say thank you for watching. I wish you all the luck on your drawing, and see you soon.